Delighted to be here for the launch of this report today, because I think thinking about the resilience of road transport, both in terms of how we build our future roads and how we maintain our current roads, is very, very important. And I don't think there's been enough thinking around that at the moment. I'm coming here from the DARE Hub perspective, where we're the national hub looking at the challenges of decarbonisation, the adaptability and the resilience of our transport infrastructures. And there's an awful lot going on looking at the decarbonisation side, but not so much on the resilience. One of the things that DARE's been able to bring to this is some view about what the extremes of weather may look like in the future in terms of intensity of rain, of heat, of wind, etc. And what that means in terms of trying to build our infrastructure to cope with the extremes of those weather conditions, or indeed making decisions about how resilient we can make our infrastructure, and the fact we're willing to let that infrastructure fail and recover, or be repaired and recover in the future. And it's having a menu of those decisions which is really, really important for the decision makers, for the local authorities who commission the design and build and repair of roads, and for national government as a whole to realise that the resilience of transport infrastructure is a real challenge going forward. Now, when you think about some of these extremes coming, you may come to very hard choices in the future, that a piece of infrastructure in a particular place may no longer be viable, and we need to understand where that may be. Now, at the moment, if infrastructure is flooded, for example, it recovers over time. There's a cost associated with that, with actual recovery and repair, but also there's social and economic cost of not having that infrastructure operating. And we kind of seem to just absorb that. But in the future, if those extreme weather episodes happen more often, more frequently, more intensely, it may well be that we have to think about what we mean by resilience and what we do about resilience of infrastructure more, because we're being hit more often. So do we make that infrastructure more resilient so it fails less often with the extremes, or do we accept that we have those failures and recover from them? And that's a real challenge. That's why I think one of the key recommendations from the CIHT report that we brought forward today is that we need some long-term strategy, some long-term thinking on this, to really understand what the challenges are, what the choices are in terms of cost, resilience, the adaptation of our transport networks to resilience, and in the future hopefully give the stakeholders a menu of choices. If you choose this level of resilience, what does that mean? What are the risks? If you have this amount of money, this is what you can do. And I think until we have that, we are really just doing sticking plasters with our resilient infrastructure. And that really worries me, because particularly for the roads, we're seeing a decline of the quality of roads in many places, because the repair budget, the maintenance budgets are being cut. And it's almost could say a managed decline, or even an unmanaged decline. But if those transport infrastructures aren't performing to the best of their ability, then when the extremes of weather come, they will fail worse, and they will take longer to recover. And these are all the balances that I think we need to put forward and give to the politicians, the decision makers, the financiers, of the choices that we have to look going forward.